quarantine with Scully from Creature Creature. Lovely to meet you, Scully.
And you.
Thank you.
Now, a lovely background.
Yeah, lovely background, wardrobe, bed, everything. So we know which room you're in.
As if it had been a Zoom chat, I could have changed it to like some like LA backdrop or something, but unfortunately it's just.
Can you do that? I don't know. You could.
You can on Zoom, yeah. I don't know if you can on this, but you'll just have to deal with my cluttered wardrobe.
It's Skype, but yeah, it's pretty basic as far as that's concerned. Now you're in a Brighton punk rock band, Creature Creature. So you're based by the sea, which
yes, we
must
are.
Be lovely. Now you weren't always called Creature Creature, so tell us about how the band began and what the original name was and the reason for the rebrand.
So we started very folk punk. I started the band with my guitarist. We was already in a covers band, and you just get fed up with singing other people's songs. And we've both done original songwriting before, but never together. So we decided to start our own band, and I was really into, well, I still am into like folk punk and that kind of scene. And he's more of a
folk punk. So it's very specific sort of type.
Yeah, so like the sort of Flogging Molly and Pogues and that kind of thing. He's more into more straight up rock. I love that as well, but I was just into that, like that niche at the time, and I was like, well, let's just do that because it's a bit different. So that's basically where we started, and it was just a really good way to build the band because it's quite a community-led sort of genre, and we made quite a few friends through it, and I just found it helped my songwriting a lot as well because there's a lot of folk punk songs are very based around stories and very descriptive, and that's kind of helped my own songwriting in that genre. But we made that band and we decided to call it 40 Shillings on the Drum because it was very folky and very rocky and very punk. We found like the other members for it, and that's where we started. And we gigged that for about 2 years, I think, under that name.
This is like from 2016 to 2018,
Yeah, and then the fiddler left. So we had a fiddler, obviously, because of course, because you just need one. And then we just found that we naturally changed. Like when she went, as songwriting kind of went into a more of a rock direction in terms of the sound. And one thing led to another. We played some festivals still under like 40 Shillings on the Drum, but the songs themselves were like changing more. And then like fast forward to last year, we went in the studio to record our album, and it was just rock. Very, very rock and punk. And
so punk rock would be a pretty good description. So it's not really folk punk it's definitely now more punk rock.
Gone. I mean, the folk is gone. I've kept like some of the essence of it in the way I write lyrics, which you'll probably hear a bit of in the album, but you wouldn't listen to it and think it's a folk, or anything like that. And that's kind of where the decision came to change the name, because the name was so folky that we were a bit concerned that, especially like it's been our first album, no one knows who we are, and they just see that name, they're going to make assumptions about what we do and maybe not even listen if it's not their sort of thing. And there was just a few reasons why we decided to change. And so at the end of last year, we made the decision to change it to Creature Creature, because it was like either now or never. Like, we can't really change it once we brought the album out. So we were like, right, let's do it then. It's a hard thing to let go of when it's been like there from the beginning. And but like, you work really hard as an independent band, like for some recognition. And even if it's just like on a small time scale to begin with, it's still recognition at the end of the day. And you like, it's letting go of that and knowing you've got to change something like that is a big deal.
Move forward, Well, what's the reason behind the name Creature Creature? I mean, you could have just called it Creature or The Creature.
We could have.
Creature.
Yeah, we could have.
Kinds of possibilities.
It's one of those things. I don't know. Some bands might find it easy naming themselves. We always found it a bit hard coming up with a name. Like, you don't want to think about it too much, but at the same time, you don't. You're going to be living with that
Stuck with it now.
For a long time, if unless you rebrand like we did, but we won't be rebranding again.
I think there's only so many times a band can do that.
Exactly, you can't keep doing it. So it's like we had to get it right this time, and we just, we tried things that were relevant to experiences we'd had, and we tried writing down just like random stuff. And I'll be honest, I can't even remember where the word creature came from in the end, but we settled on that word, and we're like, that's cool, but it needs something else. And we went through a massive list of just like putting words with it and seeing what words work with it. And in the end, I think our keyboard player was just like, just put creature with it again. That's a great word, to just use it twice. And we were like, oh, all right, maybe we should.
Well, it does have a ring to it, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah,
well, I think it does. Creature. Yeah. Now, you actually won Brighton's Busk Stop competition with your first gig.
Yes.
So tell us about that. What is Brighton's Busk Stop competition?
So in Brighton, there's as there is with all the cities, there's a shopping centre. It's called Churchill Square in Brighton, and this was in 2016, I think. We were near enough ready to gig, basically, as a band, but we hadn't done any gigs yet. We'd just been writing and practicing for about a year. And I think the ad was in the newspaper, or somebody told us about it and just said they were running a competition. You just go down there, obviously apply for it, and you play inside the shopping centre. And then it goes to like a public vote for they upload a video of you playing, and people can vote for like the favourite. And then I think it was the one with the most votes wins or something at the end. It's hard to remember.
That's how it usually works with votes.
But along those lines, but it was just kind of cool to play like inside a busy shopping centre.
I quite like the idea of this, actually. I think all shopping centres should be doing this. Well, once they're reopened, obviously.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, it was good. It was because it was like the bus stop, and like people generally just sort of played like with a guitar or sometimes like 3 pieces, but obviously we were like a 6-piece band. So we were still quite...
you lost the fiddler.
We were still quite loud, even though we stripped back a bit. So I think we just made a bit more of an impact, I guess.
What did you win? Anything?
We did. We won a day in Brighton Electric Studios, and they mixed the song, and like we recorded like one song and they mixed it, and got a video from it as well.
Decent prize, I'd say.
It was a good prize, and it was a good experience for us in that studio to see how it all worked and everything, because that's actually the studio we ended up recording the album in. So it was nice to an early experience there to see. They got a bar, and that's all you need. I was happy.
Now, speaking about recording an album, you've actually recorded an album which you were due to release in February, and of course that had to get pushed back for obvious reasons. So it's now due to be released 10th of July.
Yes.
So tell us about the album. I know pre-orders have already gone live, right? And it's being released on your own record label, Creature Eats Records. I love that.
Yeah. When you got a name like Creature, you find that a lot of things seem to work out quite well.
I can see that now. I can see it. So it's called Two Finger Tantrum.
Yes.
So tell us about this album, because it sounds quite punky, and I've seen the artwork, which I think is brilliant. So talk us through the album, the artwork, the whole concept around it.
So again, this was, it started for us back in 2018 when we were still 40 Shillings on the Drum. We played a festival, Beautiful Days Festival, down in Devon, and we was on one of the small stages, but Feeder were on one of the big stages, plus a lot of other bands. I think the Hives were on Manic Street Preachers and that weekend. We had sort of artist passes, but they were just like small time. They weren't like access all areas, so we couldn't wander around like the back of the main stage or anything. But we managed to get back at the main stage because we were just tried to find some like free beer or something. We managed to sneak back there at some point, and found the beer again, which was nice.
Well done.
And also got asked to leave, which wasn't so nice. On the way out, we bumped into Tommy Gleason, and he plays guitar in Feeder. We got talking to him, and just said that we were like recording some songs. At that point, it was just a couple of songs, and he was saying that he was considering doing some work in producing. And we were like, well, if you have a listen and you like what we're doing, you might want to mix the tracks for us. And he's like, you have to like, we're just like, maybe see what you think. But it turns out he did like it, and he did mix those tracks for us. And he did such a good job that we were like, then, you know, do you want to come down and actually record like a whole album with us? Because we think that it might work really well. And he was up for it. So like I said, last June he came down.
Yeah.
I think 9 days we was actually in the recording studio itself when we got the whole album down in that time, which is quite impressive really, because he's quite a perfectionist himself, and we all kind of are as well. So there was a lot of, you know, takes after takes, but to get it all done in that time was really good.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously the wait, because he's touring with Feeder, so he could only mix at certain times last year.
Right.
Yeah, sent us the finished album at the beginning of this year.
Lucky you got it done when you did.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a big deal for us to get that done, because obviously we didn't expect anything like this, the current situation to come, but to have the album already it's helpful for the band and like their morale and stuff, because it's going to be hard on all artists right now, especially the smaller ones who don't have access to any like home studios or anything like that. Can't see your band members, can't do gigs, can't meet up and practice. So that's tough for a lot of bands, and I think we're quite lucky the fact that we've got this album already that we can get excited and try and get other people excited about. And it makes it a bit easier for us in this time when we can't see each other and gig.
You're actually due to release the second single from the album, Broken Windows. Is it 22nd of May? By the time this video goes out, I haven't got my diary in front of me and I've lost all track of days, but that's probably will have been released.
Yes. So that's coming up Friday. The first single came out in February, like when we were talking about, and then we were going to release the album shortly after. Then decided we got better postponed so we could get a proper plan in place with everything going on. So yeah, we're now releasing the second single this Friday, followed by another potential single in June, and the album in July. Yes, and it's a 10-track album. Tommy's just blown us away with the work he's done producing. As I said, we've all been in bands and stuff before, but we've never, none of us have ever been in a position to record an album. We've recorded an EP, but again, we didn't have the guidance or the expertise of somebody like Tommy, who's taken like everything that we do and he's pushed it to another level. So yeah, when we listened to it, we were just, even though it's us, what he's done is like, when it just kind of blew us away. So we're really excited to find out what people think of it when it comes out.
And are you planning to tour then at the end of this year around the release? In July is looking doubtful, I'd say, but
very unlikely. I mean, we were planning, we had sort of 3 UK tours planned for this year. Again, we're doing it all ourselves, so it's quite a lot of work to make those contacts and convince them that they should have us. And so we had the basics of that planned already for this year, which now all been postponed. It helps, obviously, more important, and we just have to, you have to just deal with that. But I think because everything's so uncertain, and we have to be careful, because we're an independent band, it takes a lot of time for us to plan stuff. We probably won't be touring the album until next year now, or at the beginning of next year, hopefully. We will do gigs if they, if we can again by the end of the year. If the live scene started up again, then we'll obviously jump back on it and start doing gigs. But the proper tours will be next year. Yes, and we'll be going full on on the tours.
Yes, I can imagine. Is there anyone you'd particularly like to tour with?
I'd say if you asked all different members of the band, they probably all have different answers. We've all kind of got individual tastes, and also collective ones. Personally, Raw Bloods, just because they're from Brighton as well. And
Rocket Dolls, maybe?
Rocket Dolls, who are they?
I don't know, never heard of them.
Sorry, Squish. Sorry, Nicky Squish. Rocket Dolls would be great fun. That's Nicky's band. He's also our PR guy. we got introduced to him by Tommy, actually.
Oh,
And
okay.
he is a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And we would love to go on tour with him. We're quite hard work on tour. We like to wind people up, so I'm not sure how long he'd survive his time with us.
Do you play pranks on people? Is that what you do?
Well, I don't want to give anything away.
What's the worst thing you've ever done to somebody on tour?
What's the what? The worst?
What's the worst thing you've done as a prank to somebody on tour?
Well, there's so many.
Nothing that stands out.
I'm not the worst, to be honest. Zeus is our guitarist, is notoriously bad for the pranks. He'd happily tell you many stories, I'm sure. All I've got in my head right now is that when I went out with my keyboard player on the last tour, we was drinking mead randomly before we went out. He bought a bottle of mead. I think he said it was something to do with being in a folk punk band. We had to drink mead because it was like the oldest alcohol or something.
Yes, law. Didn't you know?
Yeah, but that's what he said as well. So I was like, so we did drink it, and we drank the whole bottle. And then when we came back, there was like that much left in the bottle again, like a yellowy colour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we were like, I'm sure we finished that off. And I was like, don't touch it. Do not touch it. There's something iffy about that. I was wasted anyway, but I was like, not that stupid. And yeah, it turned out
to stop that.
Yeah, it turned out that Zeus had tampered with the bottle, shall we say? In the hope that maybe we might drink it. I guess I don't know. You'll have to ask him. But he doesn't hold back on the things he does. But that was on us. So that's a kind of taste, or not a taste, of what Nicky might have to look forward to should he go on tour with us. We also managed to drive Tommy mad in the studio because he was. Just tell
anyone that goes on tour with you to buy their own drinks and keep them sealed.
That's the
keep them with them at all times.
Yes, lock them in a safe before you go out.
And on that note, I think we're going to leave it there.
Yeah,
I'm going to have a nice cup of tea.
Try and forget the story.
Try and forget the story. Believe me, I've heard worse, a lot worse. Anyway, best of luck with the album release.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to hearing it. What I've heard of your music so far, I really, really like anyway. So I'm sure it's going to be a great album. And I hope to see you on the road at some point.
Lovely. Hope to see you too. When the live scene gets moving again. Well, hopefully it won't be too long.
Hopefully not. Take care.
Hey, you too. Take yourself. Yeah, stay safe. Take care.
Not too long.
Bye.
This is rock and roll.